Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we have something special. We're going to look at a prototype of a game, and this is going to be Blacksmiths of Steinnheimr. Now, if I pronounce that incorrectly, I'm just bad at pronouncing things, but this game is a 2 to 4 player game where you're going to try to be the best blacksmith and create the best armor, jewelry, and items. So let's go ahead down to the table here. I'll give you a general idea how the game plays, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so this is Blacksmith of Steinnheimr. Now, what we're going to be doing in this game is we're going to be creating items, depositing ores, and getting special powers and bonus powers to get the most points at the end of the game. The end of the game will occur when a certain number of items are made. So in a 2-player game, there's going to be 10 items. In a 3-player game, there's going to be 8 items. And in a 4-player game, there's going to be 6 items. As soon as 6 items are built collectively, the game will end and it'll continue on until everyone has even numbers of turns. So to start the game, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to see who's going to be the first player. And the first player is going to generally be the player who most recently worked in a forge. If not, you can find your own way of finding first player, maybe roll a die, whatever. But anyway, everyone's going to get 1 meeple. They're all the same color, and they're going to get 2 coins. And you might be asking, hey, why do I get a meeple of the same color? It's because how you perform your actions on your turn, which we'll go over in a second. So everyone got the 2 coins. Then you're going to flip 2 bonus objectives, and these bonus objectives are going to be points that you can gain at the end of the game. And here, players with the most crafted jewelry pieces get 5 points. Players with the most mithril, town, and item cards get 5 points. So those are goals you could work towards. And each card is going to say what it is. Like this one's an iron mace, and you can see here that it's a weapon. And this is what it costs to build. So this is going to be 2 iron. But we're going to go over building action in a second. So on your turn, you're going to take your little meeple and you're going to put it on an open place on the board. When you put it in that open place, you'll perform that action, and then you're going to pull a meeple off the board that is not the one you just placed, so this one, and you'll perform that action. And then your turn will end. Now let's go over what each of these actions are. So this first action is the market action. The market action is pretty simple. You can take 2 of the lower ores. So I could take 2 golds and get 1 mithril, or I could take 1 gold and get 2 silvers. So if you go up, it's 2 to 1. If you go down, it's 1 to 2. And that's how this guy works for the market. The next one here is mithril. You're going to get, actually all these are about the same. Are the same on the bottom here. You get a mithril, gold, silver, or iron. Now these have different numbers. Like you'll get 1 mithril here, 2 golds, 2 silvers, or 3 irons. So when you get these, you're going to take them, and they have 2 sides on here. One side is the ingot, and the other side's the raw material. You'll get it as the raw material. Now the thing to keep in mind throughout the game is you're only ever able to have 8 of these in your area at any one time. So that's that. So these are going to be gaining your ore, so you're going to be going down and mining. The furnace here, you're going to take any one type of your ore and you'll flip it over to the ingot side. So if I had 3 iron, I'd flip it over to the ingot side. So now these have been smelted for me. If I go to the Blacksmith Guild, basically what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at the upgrade deck, and you could purchase any number of these that you have money for. The game you started with 2 gold, but here's the gold cost across the top. And like this one here, it says you can now craft all armor pieces with 1 less ingot. This is really, really nice. And that's armor pieces, so the cards have to say armor. This one here for 2 gold, you can now have up to 10 resources at a time. So you can have 10 of those instead of 8. This one here, all armor pieces are worth 2 additional victory points at the end of the game. I always like going for these ones, but there's a lot. Getting a discount on making these is amazing. So that is the Blacksmith Guild. You could buy whatever you want on here. After you buy them, you'll flip new ones over. And then you could go to the town, is a different action here. The town's pretty straightforward. You could get 3 gold and be done. So that's one way of you getting gold. The other thing you can do is you can get one of these cards. And the way you're going to do this, and this is going to be points for you at the end of the game. So this is 3 points if you turn in 2 silver ingots. So I could take in 2 silver ingots and get that card for points. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, you don't necessarily want to end the game really quick because you might be building up to getting bigger items up here. So you might be just working on your mithril because you only get 1 a turn. Well, let's go into the anvil. How do you do this? Well, the anvil's pretty straightforward. What you're going to do is you're going to take a look at along this row. And like I said, I turned 2 iron into ingots. I can now turn those 2 iron in if I want, and I can get this iron maul, which is a weapon. So if I would have got this card, I would only have to turn in 1 iron ingot. And this is going to be 5 points for the end of the game. And this will go into my area. Then a new card will flip. That is all the different areas on the board that you can play on. And a couple things that I just wanted to go over real quick for strategy-wise. One is you may want that you could race to get these top cards here. So you could be going after these irons if there's a lot of irons, but there's not a lot of points. People could see that and they can start going for these. And especially when they can go, I go here, I get 3 points. So you have to watch out for that, and there's a lot of player interaction in the game because they're going to be paying attention to what you do. So you may want to do like a mix of potentially getting these every once in a while, but working up to these guys. So this guy right here is worth 13 points, but it's like 3 mithril and 1 gold. Well, that's pretty hard because you can only get 1 mithril. You also want to look at your upgrade decks. There's upgrade decks here that let you get 1 extra ore every time you go out. That you want to probably get that card to boost up your mithril, make it easier for you to get it, to make it faster to get those cards. And there's a lot of bonus cards in here that help score you. So you can think of like sort of tailor your game towards, hey, well, this card gives me 2 bonus points for every jewelry I have, so I'm going to try to focus on jewelry. And the objective cards are worth whole 5 points. That's a lot of points in this game. So you may also want to go towards that. But you don't want to like put yourself out so many turns trying to get those goals, because then that 5 points isn't really worth it. So there's a lot to this game. Let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on Blacksmiths of Steinnheimr. I really like this game a lot. I showed it off at our local convention, and it was a hit. It's one of those games that the time I think is right. I don't know that I've never even hit a 60-minute game, even with 4 players. So 30 minutes is great. This game goes through really quickly. I really like the you put down a worker and pull a worker and get to do both actions. Similar to like games like Raiders of the North Sea or any of that line. I love that mechanic, and I love how it was implemented in this game. I love the race and decisions that you have to make on whether you're just going to try to turn in raw ingots and get those, or the raw ores, not the raw ingots, but the raw ores, and get those points, or you want to convert them to ingots and get the items up above, because you have to balance out, because you get a lot of different cards that give you bonuses on those items that you craft. So just going after and turning in your ingots doesn't really mean that you're going to that's the strategy that's going to win. Now you can delay the game that way, which is really cool, because you could go in and start getting those in and then wait to get the more expensive items. But is the other opponent doing that? Or are they trying to blitz that deck? And if they are, then you're going to have to redo your strategy a little bit, because if they're trying to get items as fast as possible to try to like win with, a low score, but hamper your ability to beat them, then you need to think about that a little bit. And maybe you will just start getting those raw ingots in, and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, I need to do this. There's a player interaction in this game is basically what I'm getting at, and I like it a lot. Not just in where you put your things and what's available to pull a meeple from, but what your opponent's doing does matter, because once you get to that total item count, the game immediately ends. Immediately as in they finish the round, but point's still the same. You're going to pay attention to what people are doing because you want to time the end of the game to meet your strategy. So overall, very, very good game, and I'm very excited about the upcoming Kickstarter next year. So, and I'm definitely going to put this on my wish list. I will, if you're at any of our local game days or whatever, I will bring this, and I will be more than happy to show you how to play this game. So that's my thoughts on Blacksmiths of Steinnheimr. Still probably not pronouncing it correctly at all. Sorry about that, but thank you for watching.